Sorry, guys. Make this light a little brighter. Sorry. Hey, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. It's good to see everybody this evening. I am sorry. I was just looking to see where my phone was. I needed to charge it. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I appreciate your patience. My 3-year-old was having a hard time getting down. It happens. As always, I'm not a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist, or a financial advisor. If you need one of those, please seek those. Again, I'm going to play it by ear for next Sunday. I may or may not be here. My husband is having a pretty big surgery on Wednesday. So I don't know how it's going to play out. So, as far as like balancing everything. And y'all are ready to go. So I've had a lot of nice, also, if you get a private reading from me, I ask that you pay prior to scheduling anything with me. I seem to be getting a lot of back and forth lately between people wanting to know about my schedule first, and I don't discuss my schedule first. I may say I have openings, but I don't set the schedule first because I've set time aside for people, and then either they don't pay or I'm not sure and everything else. So I made this policy a long time ago that you have to pay beforehand. Because, otherwise I'm trying to hold spots for people and they're trying to decide and they're not being very respectful of my time. So KK, welcome. Everybody, please like and subscribe. To all of my new subscribers, I'm excited that you're here. To my oldies, welcome back. If you're new here, this is a really good group of people that comes in. There's a lot of good support, a lot of kindness. So I enjoy it. I hope you guys do too. Okay, Bonita, you're up first. Oh, if you are asking about a specific person, please say their name. Don't give me a zodiac sign because that doesn't really help me. All right, so when is a serious relationship coming your way? Have you been feeling okay, Bonita? I just got like a weird, like a queasy, headachy, whatever feeling. So, I know you're asking about a serious relationship, but I'm going to just go ahead and give you a little information that they're giving me, if that's okay. So pardon the boundary crossing. But they said you need to be worried more about taking care of yourself. You haven't been taking care of yourself well that lately, instead of worrying about a serious relationship. In time, those things come. Okay. They said 2 to 3 years out yet. She's not running to hear that, but it's true. And she needs to focus on herself right now. She spends a lot of time looking outside of herself, looking for validation outside of herself, worrying about what everybody else is doing, worrying about how everything else is going to fall into place and how her life is going to line up. And if she would just turn on to the inside and really focus on herself and heal those things, and even just basic self-care, like not ignoring when you don't feel good. I also feel like you're a bit dehydrated, and increase in water would be good. Sorry. So you did get your answer, but you got a little more than your answer. I don't know if that makes any sense. No, I just felt like a dizziness, or does the dehydration, not drinking enough water, make sense, Bonita? What's OFC? Okay, Laura H. Hello. You find a job within the next few weeks, something to support yourself. So I feel like in 3 weeks, things start to open up a little bit. And in 6 weeks is when I start. So maybe they do a couple of interviews. I don't feel like this is, let me just put this your way. I don't feel like this is the it job, the really thing that you're looking for, but it is something to put food on the table, kind of bring the money in. But it's not your dream job by any means, but it's not miserable either. But yes, I do feel something coming in. So again, I feel like something like it's like almost like dropping in my lap at the way they put it. So like opening up, dropping up in my lap in about 3 weeks, and then a significance about 6 weeks. So it may be like again, the thing opens up or somebody lets me know about something. And so, but it just takes there's a little bit of a lag time in between. Maybe it's Bonita, it could be like a blood sugar issue. I don't really know. It was just that dizzy feeling like needing to drink more water, like I'm a little dehydrated. Music's for the vibe. You see love coming in for me in the near future. So they say your sights are on the horizon. She almost misses what's under her nose. It feels like it's right around the corner. It doesn't feel like it's actually that far out. Um, and it's closer to home than you realize is the kind of the feeling I get. Nicole, does William still want to date you? I heard yes, very quickly, yes. Monica C. Oh, I just saw somebody's name and I wanted to say this because I think the last time I saw you on here, 18A Rob, I said I would answer something and then I never answered it. I realized that. So what do you get? I don't remember what it was. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. So I'm really sorry about that. My apologies for that. Think I, s- I'm just really sorry about that. That was not intentional. Okay, Monica. So they're like singing right now and they're very excited and I hear things are coming up roses. Things are coming up roses. So it just feels like everything's starting to pop and grow. So if you've been manifesting, it feels like everything's like starting to hit and break through the ground, and everything that you've been working on and focusing for is now starting to hit and break through. So you're on the right track and you need to not worry and just like keep forging ahead, keep forging ahead. I don't know if I typed your name, so I'm typing it again. Ashley. I can't really, so sometimes I can see somebody come in. Um, it's interesting because whoever this is, like, kind of has this gruffle, like this, like his voice sounds like it doesn't match his energy. It's almost like he's like a teddy bear on the inside. He's this really kind spirit on the inside and really happy, but his voice sounds more like so not scary, but like deep, kind of gravelly, like, but not quite gravelly. And he's laughing and it makes me feel like you are always kind of boy crazy. um I keep feeling round, like I don't know why, and it may not fit your father, but I don't know why. It's just this like and the swelling of joy and happiness. Um and rosy cheeks. Does this make sense, Ashley? I just want to see if I'm connecting in with him or who this is. Oh, that's really cool, Monica. Um, it sort of makes sense. It's just this feeling like, and also, I don't know if he had like would carry a toothpick or something, but there's like some little thing like he's kind of holding like this, and um he feels like he's well. I don't feel any breathing issues. I don't feel any, so he's not pointing to why he passed. Sometimes they will, and sometimes it's almost like I overlook things. Like so people who do this oftentimes are people who are in denial of their own health issues while they were alive, so they sort of don't want to talk about it now either. They do carry some of those lovely personality traits with them. This is interesting because your name is Ashley Patterson, but he said he's I don't know, so I don't know what the nickname is, but like in Spanish, people would say, "Oh, I'm fine, mi hija." Like they would say mi hija or something like that as a gesture of love, my daughter. Um, but so he's saying that, but there's like a nickname there he calls you. It's not something similar. He always had a toothpick. Okay. Did he have blue eyes? Because I feel like I'm seeing bright, sparkly blue eyes. And was there a joke that he could have passed as Santa? I know this sounds weird, but it's like what I'm getting. You're welcome, Monica. He's making them sparkle. Or do you have blue eyes? There's something there. So if you can't think of it, I don't know what it is, but I know that there's something there because I know this is the connection. That toothpick is too much, but I just can't work so much harder for this. He feels very warm and friendly because he even put his hands on my kind of like put his hands on my shoulder and was like, "You're doing okay. It's okay." And he gave me a little kiss on the back of the head. He's very sweet. Like I feel like he's very warm and very loving and very kind. Um, I also feel like he goes, I wasn't so much into this stuff when I was alive. So just know that he's okay and that he's fine and you're loved. Um, and he said, I'll be back to visit soon. Did you have a dream about him or did you feel him around? I almost feel like everybody loved being around your dad. Like all of your friends loved being around your dad. He was just like that dad that people like to hang out with. You felt him yesterday. Okay, good. Because he said, I'll be back again. So he'll be back again around you. I also feel like he'll be coming in your dreams so that know that when it happens, it is real. Okay, I'm gonna have to leave you with that because I got to get to some of these other people. Um, Starry Skies, I do feel like you did have a musical past life, and I heard a few, but I feel like it's really interesting because I actually feel like so time happens. It's hard for me because I realize like time, every single lifetime that we've ever lived, every single plane of existence, everything is literally happening all at once. And if you want to say it's all complete already, like this is just, I don't know, replay, whatever. But so in a past life, yes, and I feel like several lifetimes, and there's one, and I actually feel like in it's some kind of like flute, but it's not a modern day flute or piccolo. But it's like a little wood instrument with little holes in it. And I keep seeing like I don't know what kind it is. It's a string instrument, but it's akin to a guitar, but maybe sounds more like a mandolin with a big round sound bassy, like a the body of it is like kind of round. Um, leave it with that. 18A Rob, what do I have to do for people to think of me or consider me when planning to meet friends? Doesn't that suck when people do that? And you're like, ugh. I get left out of a lot of plans because I don't really drink. So everybody's like, well, obviously not right now, but planning a mom's night out. We don't have drinks. I'm like, I don't drink if you want me around. And then people get really self-conscious about their own drinking habits because, they're more worried about what if I'm judging them or teetotaling, which I'm not. Sorry. First of all, some of it is also who you're hanging out with. And then this is silly, but it's nothing wrong with you. It's sort of the intention you put out there. So if you're manifesting, you're going to say, I am always invited to hang out with people. I get so many invitations, I'm having to turn them down. So even if it's not actually happening right now, but you have to change that mindset, because if you expect that nobody's ever going to invite you, then that's sort of like what happens. That's the best way I can put it. But literally, it is nothing that you are doing, and there's nothing wrong with you. It just feels like not hanging around with the right fit of people, like trying to mold myself to feel comfortable around a group of people that not necessarily like, I don't know. Maybe like it's that feeling of trying to fit with others when they're not really the right fit. It's just not the right group of people. It's the best I can tell you, but it's changing the mindset. So I am always invited places. My schedule is so, my social calendar is so full. I'm having to turn people down. Shift that thought process. And it may take a little bit, but I actually feel like in 2 weeks' time, you'll start to see a shift. Alessandra, what do my spirit guides want me to know? They said, go with your gut more often. You tend to second guess yourself often. And you're missing out on and making opportunities harder to get when you don't listen to your gut. You're complicating issues that don't need to be complicated. And they also said, learn to simplify more, keep things easier. Because it feels like even like, so it feels like organizationally keep things easier and neater and more succinct, but it also feels like emotionally make it easier. Just start to remember that most of what everybody else does is really about them and not about you. And their reactions and their interactions are way heavily or more heavy on what's going on in their own internal world rather than anything to do with you. Some of that comes from old belief systems on your part and thinking that it's somehow there's something wrong with you, that people are this way, but it's not. It's really that's just the way people are. It's not really about you. Annie 333 for love. What's coming in? He said, in 6 weeks' time, there's a slight shift, and your views of what you want and need are going to change. It's funny. You're going to have a slight shift, but your views and your needs are going to change exponentially. The way that you see the world, the way that you thought things were, the way that you thought you were is going to change. it's not gonna be like this huge monumental thing that happens. It's gonna be like waking up when the light goes on and you realize who you really are and who what you really want. They said it'll make things easier on you in the long run. Hold on to your seat, big changes are coming. But it doesn't feel like it just you just, like, wake up and you're like, "Oh, oh, that's how it is." I've had a lot of those aha moments lately, and that's not Oprah's thing. Aha was before Oprah. Okay, sorry. Thank you, KK. So everybody, KK is my moderator, and I got to meet her, um, on Zoom because she's in Canada, or she's way away. I won't divulge your, origin from me, but yeah, I got to meet her. It was really lovely. Um, Serena, I'm guessing that's how you say it, with all these I's and A's. Do I see you having children? If so, what age? They're usually newborn when they come out. I'm kidding. I know what you mean. Gotta make sure I put all your letters in there. It's not intuitive to type all of those randomly. Okay, so the number 26 is coming up to me. So I don't know if you are 26 right now. Can you at least validate that? So I have a jumping off point there. Also something about 6 years time. How old are you? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. What the 26 is, and then they said something about 6 years. So you can take it or leave it. I don't know which. Do you know what the significance of 26 is? Is your birthday on the 26th? So then you're going to have them at 26, but there's also something about 6 years time. So it may be, you don't know. You're crying. So then at 26, because if that's the first number I hear and you're under that age, then it would make sense for it to be then, and 6 years time. So it may be that something happens in 6 years time, which would make you 24, but 26 feels important. So you may have a pregnancy that doesn't fully make it at 24, so that's in 6 years from now. Or it may mean that if you're not at 18 right now, but just like, over 18, so then in 6 years, you would actually be cusping onto 25. Does that make sense? And then you're actually pregnant 10 months, so that could push you, or you're 25 and over, just over 25. And then, so you would be pregnancy at 25, pushing into 26 when you have the baby, or pregnancy right before 25 and pushing almost into 26. So that time frame feels about right for me. Lucy, when will you see Timur again? I'm not feeling a strong pull. It actually feels like a couple months. Is there a big travel that has to happen it just doesn't feel like you're nearby each other. So it's not that like we're all in quarantine and we don't get to hang out much. It actually feels like there's an actual physical distance between the two of you. Babyface, don't wait. Did you ask about love last time? Listen, I'm going to tell you something. If you're here every week, try not to ask the same question over and over and over. Because what happens is I'm like, well, I don't know. Some of the questions you're getting, they're far out. You need to give them time to start happening. This is why when I schedule you for private readings, I don't want to see you all the time. I literally say you can have a reading once, maybe twice a year. If something major happens, like somebody passing, then 3 times. But literally, I don't want to see you a lot because that's why I set the rates where I do. Because I want you to let things unfold a little bit. So some of these times when you guys are coming back and asking the same question over and over, Rose, you're here. Nice to see you. I was actually thinking about you today. In fact, when we came on here, I was thinking, I wonder if Rose will be here. Anyway, it doesn't work to your benefit to constantly be wondering, because what happens is, even I have friends who we exchange readings. When they ask me the same thing over and over and over again, I start to only read their anxiety and their stress about something rather than actually what my guides are telling me. So try not to ask the same question every week. Be patient. Let things unfold. Not trying to scold anybody, but some of you asked, it feels like, what just happened? Sorry. Stop it. Stop it. Sorry, my computer's doing all these weird things. Stop. You want a message from Spirit? I swear I thought you asked about it. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. Maybe my weeks run together. Okay. Okay. This is interesting. Okay, so I think this is gonna lead into the love thing, babyface. So they said you keep running into walls. Like I keep hitting walls and feeling like I'm keep getting stuck and keep getting stuck and keep getting stuck. Um, the doors are starting to open. Be patient. By July, you'll have an answer and you'll be moving on to better things. August brings new beginnings. And bright shining faces. I feel like honestly, I'm not ready to start like fully putting myself out there and dating until September. So as much as some of you ask, like, when's love coming or when is this going to happen? Some of you want to know, but you're not really ready to dip your toe. And it just feels like I want to know and I'm excited to look for that, but I'm not quite ready to dip my toe in yet. So I hope that that's helpful. Let's see messages from your spirit guide. So they say start looking for opportunity. Like I literally heard that Martin Luther, isn't it Martin Luther King who said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, and what you can do for your country." It's that feeling of needing to put yourself out there and start seeking opportunities to assist others, and you'll end up letting yourself be known. It feels like you'll end up making important connections by doing this. But getting your foot out there and getting yourself, your face out there in a way of through opportunities to help others or volunteer or whatever, but it's like putting yourself out there instead of waiting for it to come to you. Ellen R., could you please give me names? Again, if you're asking about it, somebody who's crossed over, also names are helpful because they just are. It's like a vibrational thing. CY Midtown. Spirit guides. I keep feeling like the need to get out of a funk, and kind of like it's time to pull yourself out, and um, it's like needing to clear my chakras, um, energetically make shifts and changes to my world. How do you do that? Go on YouTube and find a chakra clearing meditation guide. But it's also about just deciding and making that intention that I am ready to heal. I am ready to be positive. I'm ready to pull myself out of the rut. It just feels like even just simple little things like opening the windows and getting some fresh air and just really taking stock of who's around you and who you surround in your life. It just feels like it needs time to clean house, so to speak. You're welcome, Liz. Your mom's name is Eileen. Okay. Oh, it was JFK who said that. Thank you. Well, we can be wrong about quotes, right? Still both good men, right? They were both adulterers, by the way, which is totally fine, but they were. Doesn't make them not good men or better leaders than what we have going on right now. That's all I'm going to say. All right, Ellen, let's do this. Let's see if Eileen is here. If she's not, I'll just give you a message from your guides. Did she really like Audrey Hepburn, or like it's just this like little, because I heard her say, "I'm here, dear," but she's presenting herself as Audrey Hepburn. Like very well put together, cute little dress, very petite. She may not have actually looked like this in life, but it's how she wants to present herself right now. Does that relate? Do you make sense of that? Because they said I could be however I want, and this is how I want. She has a very funny sense of humor. Does this connect? Okay. Okay. Did she like her? Because it's this feeling of just thinking she was like, I'm gonna look like this because she's very pretty and this is how I want to look. Like where everything fits perfectly, everything's perfectly pressed, her hair is perfect, not a, everything is like, so this is how she's presenting herself. She said, stop worrying, everything is fine. So it's that feeling that you're worrying that everything's not in order, everything's not fine, or everything needs to be a certain way. And she's like, just stop. It's okay. Everything is fine. Everything was fine. Everything is okay. She's kind of like, I'm fine. Look at me. I'm fine. Look at me. I'm fine. She said, I'll come back and visit again. She gave me, because she goes, I have to run. I have lunch plans. Like, I don't know what she's doing, but she's like almost like this, like very Hollywoody, like, I've got things to do. She's very sweet. She's just fine. Um, G, any messages for you? Just a real quick before I do G, who TL is up next. Who is he? You put, will he communicate with me soon or should I reach out? Unless I missed something you typed, so I don't know who he is. G is first. Any messages for you? They said you're bumping along, you're doing fine. Keep up the momentum. Don't let your feet drag. Don't let yourself get behind. Keep up the momentum. They said start looking in other directions for opportunities to come your way. They're going to come in from the most unexpected places. Are you working on building your career or building something? Because that's what it's a feeling of, like, I'm building something of my own. You're welcome, Ellen. She's around you. She has a sweet, funny little sense of humor. Just waiting for G to give me a confirmation and TL to give me a he, because if I don't know who he is, I cannot answer if he is going to call. All right. Oh, I'm going to keep moving. Stephanie, could I have a general reading, please? Certainly. Okay, so I feel like you've actually been working on your own psychic development growth, and it feels like I was doing really well, and then I just hit a wall, and they said not to worry. I actually feel like your ear chakras are starting to open up of like pops and buzzes and things like that. Like you keep thinking that you have allergy issues, and it's actually stuff just starting to open up. She'll start seeing a change in 6 days, 6 weeks, and 6 months. She'll notice a whole big new world. I know 6 sounds weird, right? Like the whole, especially when people are like 666, but when I was in my ministerial courses, one of the things we learned was the metaphysical side of the Bible. And when 6s show up in the Bible, it actually is like something psychic is going to happen. So there's an interesting correlation there, but that's what I was getting. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Wait, is he a name? I'm very serious because it sounds like a pronoun, Logan? That's his name? Thanks, KK. I mean, I don't mean to roll my eyes, but I'm gonna roll my eyes just a little bit. Okay. Okay, so they said you should reach out, but don't expect too much. You tend to get your expectations up really, really high, and you let yourself down. You create the story ahead of what's really going on. And remember how I said a little bit ago that a lot of times the way people react and do things, it's like 99% of the time, it has nothing to do with us at all. So that's the feeling I get. It's like you should, but also don't get your expectations up like, I thought he would respond this way and he didn't. Ugh, I'm crushed. Like, just relax a little is the feeling I get. Um, it's Stephanie. Blue Storm, is it worth trying to sell systems to biotech companies? I heard yes, but in a year's time. So I don't it why did they say this? In a year's time trial changes. So I don't know if you change and change something else or if you're trialing something. I don't know, but there's a change that happens in a year from that. So I don't know if it means I'm selling something else or um the role changes or what, but so yes, and something changes with that in a year. Nicole Plant, what's going on in the next 3 months? So I still feel very stagnated over the next 3 months that I don't know if you're working home from home, but they said working from home, still working from home, sort of like doing my own thing. Like it feels like the world has just stopped. And then bam, there's a new, like by the end of the 3 months, I feel like it's like a new cycle starts or a new beginning starts. So it feels like it starts to break free and open up. Where I feel like I'm sort of like getting back in the groove and a normal and not just feeling so like Groundhog Day. Rose, any messages from your guides? They said you're doing well, staying the course. And I feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like I felt just like this bright, warm feeling, like things are starting to kind of come out and I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to have more hope. Um, it's that feeling of hope, like I know what you're going through. So that feeling of hope that that I'm gonna be around a lot longer than I'm not having that doom and gloom feeling anymore. Like I'm really starting to feel good. Like like there's hope and there's more. So I just feel like just keep in that energy and keep trusting and believing that you have a lot more time and you're good and you're doing well. You're welcome, Nicole. Regine. Um I do feel like Regine, I do feel like it'll be successful. Um, but I feel like there's going to be bumps in the beginning, just trying to sort of like work out the kinks and figure out like the best practices and how to move forward and protocols and all of that stuff. But yes, I do feel like it will be. Robo 7306, how will it not be awkward? Well, one, quit expecting it to be awkward because when you throw that energy out there, it will be that. So, row with the mantras, the I am mantras, right? or it was. So it was a really great first date. It was super easy to connect. We had great conversation. There was a lot of chemistry, things like that. I actually don't feel like it's going to be awkward. I feel like, so they're showing me like you, which is totally okay. It's normal, but it's like that stereotypical, like when you think of like somebody having social anxiety and like, especially in the 80s movies, they'd be like, um, using their inhaler and like, like freaking out. So it's like, just do some breathing and really write it down. So it's that, again, it's that manifestation thing of fake it till you make it. Cause I do feel like there is some social anxieties there, but I don't feel like it's going to be awkward. Um, I even feel like breaking the ice and saying like, I was really worried this would be awkward. It's like just understanding that there's some nerves on that end too, but I really feel like it's gonna like be okay and be easy. Oh, you're welcome, Jacqueline. Danielle W. Hi, Urban Lady. Sorry if I don't always acknowledge your hellos and how are yous. I think they're very sweet and very kind. I really, really do. And it always makes me like, you might see me read and see little quick grins and things like that. I just try not to address them because I tend to go off in tangents and I really just want to read. I was like that when I worked as a nurse, especially in this one clinic. I just would like move through patients pretty quickly. And it wasn't anything personal. It's just I see the pile stacking up and I want to get through it. And like, I get super focused. So please know that I absolutely love when and I do rewatch this and I make sure I don't miss things and I try to see how I can do better. And so I do see all of those messages and they're very kind and wonderful. And I wish I could, like, I see them and I want to say like, but I'm great. And I really appreciate the kindness and the thoughtful and sweet words. I truly do. So don't think that I don't. I really do. Because I keep seeing them, and then I feel like in my head, I'm like, oh, I should say something. And okay, Danielle W. So I heard mostly clairaudient, and a bit clairsentient, which leans into your being an empath, which means you feel what other people feel. It's funny because I feel like I'm being pulled and I feel a little they said it can be a little disorienting for her at times. If you can just take a moment when you like, if you walk into a new situation and you recognize that, like, I wasn't feeling this way before, why do I feel so off now? That it's most likely not your energy, it's most likely the energy of the space, the people that are around you, or the old energy that wherever you are carries. And it can also be, they said, a magnitude of other things, like the energy that's like encompassed in the entire like right now there's so many people that have stress and anxiety and trying to get my hair not to be plastered against the back of my head. Stress and anxiety that as a collective, so when that energy is like sort of built up more, it can be a little bit more overwhelming for people who are empathic. Libra girl, how do I see your upcoming week with Esteban? Let's type Esteban. Upcoming week. So I feel like there's a slight avoidance of topics, of kind of dancing around things is the feeling I get. It doesn't feel like a bad week. I don't feel anger or fighting or whatever, but I feel like an avoidance of topic. But it feels overall okay. Like you're both kind of avoiding something. Or what can you expect in love in the next few months? The immediate thing that I got when I read that was that you need to put yourself out there more. And it sort of feels like not making yourself fully available and or choosing people that aren't fully available. And so it's sort of like a subconscious way of it just not working out at all. Um, there's a lot of fear of rejection underlying here and a lot of like, I almost like it just working on it's your solar plexus chakra where sort of like all of this relationship comes into play, which is your how you relate to the world, how the world relates to you and your self-esteem. And it's sort of like if you do catch someone that's really great, you're like very instantly like, why what's wrong with them? Like so if you can work on really taking time to do a solar plexus chakra clearing and working on there's like the duality idea where it's like it's okay for me to be in a relationship, it's okay not for me to not be in a relationship, it's okay to be in love, it's okay not to be in love, and sort of like neutralize some of these fears of like I have to be, there's something wrong with me if I'm not. And also um do the I am, like I am worthy. And I know that's like the Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you're probably not old enough, but I don't remember the guy's name, but he'd like look in the mirror and he'd be like, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. It's that feeling of like literally that's what manifesting is. It's just shifting that belief system to people want to be with me, people want to date me, people are attracted to me. And even if you don't feel that way, fake it till you make it. Like just start shifting it and looking at manifesting that way. I will talk to you guys about that a lot because I think I've gotten readings from people and they're like, well, this is the problem, or this is like, this is what's going on. It's like, okay, and what do I do about that? Like, I know that's the problem. Like, help. It'd be like going to the doctor's office and they're like, here's your diagnosis. And you're like, okay. And um, I know people who do it. I try to always like look at the root and how to help you guys kind of move past it or through it. You do what you want, but this is sort of like kind of what they're showing me. It's not when you start to run into walls and do the same thing over and over, it's like, well, how do I fix that? There's nothing wrong with you. If you shift your mindset and you shift your energy, it's sort of then like it opens doors and opens things up. Subconsciously, if we don't feel we're worthy of a relationship, we pick people. We tend to be attracted to people that aren't really fully giving into that relationship. Tangent, sorry. That was for Aura. Jacqueline, what do I need to know about my spirit guides? You don't need to know anything. But what I do recommend you do is go to my, you do my meditation about meeting your guide, your spirit guides or loved ones. I have 3 meditations on there. There's a playlist for meditations because there's so many of them. But I did one on that. And it's actually, I've had good feedback from people on it about connecting in. And I would highly recommend doing that. To meet them yourselves because I feel like you are actually very intuitive and it would be a really cool experience for you. But what do you need to know from them? Well, first of all, they're straight shooters because they said what she needs to know is to get off her butt and get to work on these things. She knows she can connect with us. She has nothing to be afraid of. Like they're really like, it's time. So start trying to do some of these things and connect into your own intuition. I do feel like they are connecting with you and you're sort of ignoring it, denying it, thinking you're crazy. It's probably something else. It's a coincidence, but it feels like getting moving and opening this part of you up because I feel like it's going again to help you in the future down the way in many, many ways. You're not blocked. Just set the intention for them to help you unblock. Sorry, I just lost my place. Forgot to look at the time. Okay, here we are, Jacqueline. Lana or Launa. What do my spirit guides want me to know? I keep seeing repeating numbers. I will tell you what I do with repeating numbers. Some people say they mean nothing. And for me, they haven't. So, and when you hear people say, this means this, when they're giving a symbol. So whenever you see a penny, it means your angels are around. Whenever you see a feather, it means your angels are around. Whenever you see, these are what people tell you. These are like commonalities. Whenever you see a butterfly, it means your family is around you. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that way for me, because we all create our own language when we're developing our psychic and intuitive connection. So if you have a family member and you guys had a special connection, and say it was baseball, whenever you, or some favorite baseball player, whatever it is, I don't know. Nolan Ryan. Oh, it tells you how much into baseball I am. So it's moving back to the 80s for this one. But so say that was like your dad's favorite. He was an Astros fan, and that's his favorite baseball player. And so now your dad's passed over. So you happen to randomly see a Nolan Ryan baseball card or something. That must be a sign for my dad. Yes, because you created that, like, that's the connection between the two of you. For me, when I see butterflies, that means transformation. It has nothing to do with family members. So when I see numbers, I've created this connection with my guides that they sort of know. I know that I go to that angel numbers book that Doreen Virtue has. Some of what she has is what one thing means, is totally different than, like, when you see 555. I think that's the one where it's like changes are rolling through in your life. But if you read somebody else's, it means something totally different. I just sort of have it set up that if I see a number, I go to that book, because that's what I've created my language to be. So if you're seeing a lot of repeating numbers, look at hers. You can look up, there's plenty of people that have them online. Or you can just look and see what other people think. See if it resonates with what's going on in your life. That's what I teach people, is a lot of like learning and building your own psychic database. Is kind of, sometimes I'll do is I'll see what other people are saying. Like, does it resonate or does it not feel right? And it doesn't mean they're wrong. It's just, it's not where I sit. And I learn to trust more of what I'm getting and my own intuition than just blindly following what another person is doing. So that's what I do for numbers. That's how it fits for me. But because I've created that language, again, we all have our own individual language. It doesn't have to mean the same thing. However, I will say this: there's this theory that, like, say, when people dream of fish, that someone's going to have a baby. Well, for some reason, that's become my symbolism for what that means. I don't know why, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly what it means. You can literally see people pregnant, and like in your dreams, and then you're like, oh, they're going to have a baby. It doesn't really matter. It's however you set up that language. So create your language. Start to check in, and just this is sort of coming through them that all of this is running. So start to validate that you're having those experiences. And if something happens and you're not sure if it happens, like you get a feeling that you should take a class, right? Say, can you validate that for me? Give me another sign. Give me another way of knowing that I should be taking that class. Or you get a feeling you should reach out to a friend, or something's going to happen to a friend. Ask them to validate it for you. The universe and your guides will send you more signs to validate those same things. I hope that's helpful. Jam, how did Sir King see my dad's recent message? Did Sir King see my dad's recent message? Sorry, I read that wrong. I feel like yes, but didn't feel like it was his place to say anything or respond. It's almost like, yeah, I see it, but I don't want to see it. Warren Jane, any messages from Evan and Aunt Debbie? Evan, this is strange because I heard when you said the thing about the wind chime, I heard yes, but it could be hung a little bit higher. Does that make any sense? This sounds weird too. I feel like Aunt Debbie's not really into this because Aunt Debbie thought this was the devil's work. So doesn't mean that she's not on the other side or whatever, but would Aunt Debbie have been more religious, not really thought much of these things? It feels like Evan is more of the spokesperson. Thank you, spiritual seeker. She was a science teacher. So maybe she wouldn't have been very spiritual rather than worked at a religious school. Okay. So maybe wouldn't have been into the psychic stuff. That's just what I'm getting at. So that would be why she's not stepping through and Evan's stepping through. Does the thinking that the wind chime should be hung a little bit higher, does that make sense when I say that? Because it was literally that feeling. Was Evan tall? I don't know, but it's that feeling of needing to be hung a bit higher. Know that they're okay, that they're doing well, that they are together. Everybody, it's that feeling of everybody's safe, everybody made it safe, so you don't have to worry. It's almost like praying and praying and praying, please let them be okay, please let them be okay, please, and know that they're okay and everything's fine. Okay? I'm gonna leave you with that. I didn't type your name, so I'm typing it now. You're welcome. Oh, of course. Okay. The cell, what does Jason feel for you? I feel like this one's a dud. So the feeling is like I said, this don't worry, something's coming is what they said, but this one's more of a cute on the outside, not much substance on the inside. Passionness, I heard yes very quickly. Yes, you will. Race B, what's causing your leg twitches? Now, I cannot recommend any medications or anything like that, but I do feel like it might be a little bit of dehydration and a potassium deficiency, but don't go load up on vitamins. Just eat some more bananas and things and drink more water. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, let's see. Urban Lady, what does the next few months have in store for you? It feels like a lot of work and a lot of planning. And I really do feel like that. Like, I feel like I'm constantly just really planning and really working. Are you building a side business? Because it feels like really focusing on making sure everything is like, I'm really in the planning and like getting everything organized phase. Like it's a lot of that. planning, working, and really, I just have my head in the books, head in the computer. Like I'm doing a lot of that. That's literally what I'm focused on. I'm trying to balance and maintain everything that, but a lot of my energy is going towards work planning phase. Donata, will I see Reginald on Wednesday? Yes, briefly. Is what I heard. Lily, can I tell you about a past life? Your guide had laughed and goes, she's addicted to her past lives and trying to figure out why everything is the way it is in this lifetime and what it's connected to. So here's something that I've sort of come to understand about past lives again, since they're really just like kind of all happening at the same time. Some lifetimes and some experiences are very similar to this one or close to it. So you might carry over residue, but I don't really believe personally that there's a karmic thing that you have to release or whatever. I believe, and I've said there's karmic ties before, but I don't feel like there are things that kind of get fixed here and there between relationships where you're like, well, let's try this again and see if we can shift this. But it doesn't feel like karmic in the sense of punishment. I have to release and like do all this work. It's like sort of residue, and you can sort of choose to move beyond it or not. It's not really so much that I'm punished and have to deal with it. There may be lessons that you try and learn each lifetime because you want to perfect on it, just like in high school, I could take all these different sciences. So I took chem and organic chem, and I took physics and advanced physics. Like I didn't just stop with just chemistry, just physics, just like I did more. So it's that sort of a thing. Like you can build on it and refine it instead of just saying like, the rough cut one is fine, or consider it like editing a paper. Some people don't care if their edited version is just what it is. They're like, yeah, good enough. I got what I needed, right? C's get degrees. So look at it like that. So why are they random? I'm sorry. I do get pulled to showing me a specific lifetime in like Elizabethan times. And I do feel like I'm higher up in society because I feel like I'm wearing nicer clothes as opposed to like peasant clothes. Um, Whoever my mother is higher up in society because I feel like this being almost like rejected by my mom in a way. Do you have something with your hand here? Because I'm just rubbing, this is my right hand, the outside of my right hand. It would be wrist up this area. I don't know why I just started doing that, so I wanted to ask about that. This is for Lily. No. I know this is weird, but I'm moving to this. So as something, is there uh, it's my hand, not my, so it might be a scar, it might be a freckle, it might be I have a weird birthmark on my leg, and sometimes they say through past lives you bring in like injuries that way. So I'm just, is there some kind of like a change in your skin tone or I don't know. There's something about this area. I don't know what it is. So just pay attention to it. That's the one like past life that they were pulling me towards. But I'll leave you with that. No, that's fine if it's not. It might make sense soon. Maybe you'll have an injury there. Maybe it'll start irritating you. I don't know. But I promise when I start doing something weird like that and they bring it up, if there's nothing there now, it will make sense soon. It doesn't feel like a long way. Okay. And I hope you connect with the Elizabethan time. The one thing I would recommend doing is find a meditation on YouTube that does like a past life meditation, because I can tell you anything, right? I'm not making it up. That's what they were showing me. But really, any of us that practice in this area could tell you whatever we want. The biggest benefit to do is to do your own meditation and then ask somebody to say, like, and see if they sort of validate what your experience was. I work at it from that direction. And also you'll have your own experiences and see your own past life stuff. All right, Baseman, your brother Davey has any messages for you? So he feels like he's working for you on the other side. He's like, hold tight. I got your back. I've got good things coming. I'm setting you up really well. So he feels like he's working for you, Baseman. Does that make sense? That he would, like, it's that feeling that I'm always on his side and I'm always working for him. I'm really working to set things up for you right now. I almost typed his name. He said to let your guard down a little bit. It's that feeling of always like kind of just like waiting for the other shoe to drop, and he feels like he's making sure everything's going to be okay and work in your favor. KCC Ed, I feel like you do. And I feel like it's going to sound strange, but to like go through social media to search that there's a connection through social media already. That would somehow put you through. And they're also making me feel like if you did that, like one of those, like when they do those blood test things, that something would come up that would connect you and say that there's family that you wouldn't know of. I know that doesn't sound super psychic, but that's sort of the directions they're leading me in. Okay. Google user. Did you do something to your back? Because they said, how's your back feeling? Does that make any sense? Nancy, I feel like, yes, he will. But I feel like it'll take time, and there's going to be like a residual, like a delay and a residual effect at the end, but eventually he will be okay. But it just feels like it takes time, and it feels like it drags out, and it's maybe longer than I expected or had hoped. And feeling like he's not quite himself. It takes like a long time. And I feel like they said there's a significant change in 6 months, and it feels like for the better. I don't know if that lines up with what you know about timing for whatever he has. Google user back issue. You're welcome, Baseman. Wanda, money. Okay, they said you are coming into money. I feel like honestly, February is going to be a really good month for you for that. But it's just like, I feel like financially I'm okay. Doesn't mean I'm like just rolling in the dough, but I feel like I'm okay. But I feel like something's coming in February. My vibrations, 88. Sorry, I only put something. Any messages for you? They said, speak your truth, own who you are, step into who you are. Um, Stop apologizing for who you are, or feeling like you have to hide who you are. Your strength will help others in many ways. So it's that feeling of like being psychic and not wanting to say it because maybe you live in the Bible Belt and you don't want people to be praying for your soul. It's like something like that. Like I have to kind of hide who I am. Like everybody accepts my personality or whatever, but I have to hide because I just don't want people to, um, I don't know, think I'm evil or bad. And sort of like, just own it, be it. You're welcome, Wanda. Nicole. Be early. Does Jeff have anything he wants to say? Jeff's kind of funny. I heard, nope, I'm good. Stay the course. It's not coming through as like there's all these big things. It's just sort of like everything's status quo. Everything's okay. You'll do fine, he said. You'll do fine. Mojo Razin? Oh, Razin? Are you on the right path? Most definitely. It's funny. I see this come up a lot with people where they wonder, like, what's my path? What's my thing? And I'm like, you're on it. You are smack dab on it, because if you weren't, I promise you, even when like the world seems like it's falling apart and like say somebody's an addict or whatever is going on with them and it's like the world is in chaos, they're still on their right path, because sometimes we have to go into those things that have to like dig us into these ditches to see that the world is not right around us and to pull ourselves out and to get better and to move into this other direction. And we have to have that learning lesson, whatever. So yes, you are on the right path. You're not doing anything wrong. The one thing they are talking about with you is learning consistency. So not it's like putting in the work to be consistently showing up, kind of thing. Just being, that's the lesson you really need to learn right now, is consistency. Highway 138, keep it, but eventually I feel like you'll sell it. I just feel like it's not the market for it right now to sell it and get the right amount on it, along with the taxes and other stuff that come with it. So it feels like keeping it and then maybe like a year and 8 to 18 months out selling it. Cheryl. What are they thinking, feeling my crush, John Denver Martin? What their next move in the next month? Did he know I like him? So I just heard, yes, he does. He's not the one for you. It's almost like a way to keep your mind occupied. Uh, but they said, "But he's not the right one for you." You can do whatever you want. That's just what I heard. And I do feel like, he likes you or he's interested in you, but I also feel like, it ends up not panning out, like, he ends up not being all that you've built him up to be. Lynn. Lynn, I feel like, yes, you will, but it feels like 6 months out, and it feels like they have to create the job for you yet, so it's not really the position that you'll be doing isn't really there yet. Oh, there you are. Elijah or Marianne. I feel like Elijah, I'm not hearing Marianne step in at all, but I feel like Elijah, like, I feel like I see him like yelling at you, like, Dad, Dad. And like, I see turning on the water, like doing all kinds of things to try and get your attention and you're not paying attention. So I feel like he's actually making himself known. Did your faucet like randomly, like, you're like, why? Thought I turned that off and it was on, like you left the room and then you came back and it was on and you thought you left it off? Because he's showing me running water. I don't know why specifically, but tap water, not that looked a little dirty, sorry. Um, water running out of a tap. Um, does that make any sense, John? I have this song from one of this cartoon that my kids watch in my head. Thank you for subscribing, Cheryl. Lisa, I'm getting to you next. Don't worry. I was hoping John would connect with that, but maybe John had to go to bed. Okay. Getting over our love with man Philip. I call him P. What do you feel regarding me on his energy? It's marvelous. So honestly, I feel like it's that feeling of wishing it wasn't so hard for you, but knowing it was for the best. Um, like, I don't feel like he longs or wishes to be with you again. That's not the feeling I get, but it's that feeling of like, I wish she wasn't having such a hard time. I think he knows it's hard for you. Um, I mean, honestly, and I'm sorry to say this because it's never what anybody wants to hear. I don't feel like it's as hard on him. Um, but I don't feel like it's also like it's not affected him either. And I'm really sorry about that. Oh, Isha, your kitty, I'm sorry. Isha, do me a favor, just email me a picture of your kitty so I can just and I'll read it afterwards and send you an email back. That's because she's one of my moderators that I'm doing that. So Isha, if you'll just email me a picture and I'll take care of that on the end. I don't know if you just did or my phone charged all the way. Okay. Okay. Brewberry. How to run the anxiety and your restaurant now. Super stressful running a restaurant. We have good friends that own a restaurant um, in the New York area, and it's really hard. So I commend you and send you lots of love and energy because I would not want to be in that position. I heard ends meet, barely making ends meet. So anxiety wise, if you can find time, meditate. Find time to get some exercise in because I know for me that's huge, just being active, doing something. So to just, I don't know, just 30 minutes of anything. I do it 5 days a week just because I do, well, I follow this woman on here on YouTube, Heather Robertson, and I'm doing her 12-week thing right now, and it's 5 days a week. Also, I actually feel like you're empathic and your energy is like just really sensitive to everything going on. Um, I feels like needing to do a lot of deep breathing. And I actually feel like needing to energetically clear the restaurant. Um, I don't know if you have a day like some places will close, like our friends are closed on Mondays so that they can just have like a day off. If you have a day off and you're closed, go in, you can sage. Um, if you don't feel comfortable with the smokiness in there, make a sage spray with water and just essential sage oil. And you can even say a prayer and a blessing over it, send energy into it for healing in there. And I feel like just opening the space up and opening the windows and the doors and stuff, if you can, just to let fresh air in, because it feels like really just needing to clear this energy of the space itself. Um, And I know it's easy for me to say, find time to not be hyper focused on just the business. I know that's really easier said than done. But if you can find and carve out some time to just kind of focus on a moving meditation, a guided meditation, doing some exercise, doing something that's not related to just sitting and taking care of the business, it would be helpful for your anxiety. Um, a bath with lavender essential oil and salt too. Those are just some of the things I can think of. It's sort of coming from them and it's sort of coming from me. They're like pulling from every area. Okay, Sherry, when will your daughter stop self-medicating? I know this isn't great because it seems like a long way out, but it feels like 6 years out, a shift happens for her where she starts to kind of see things differently and change things where she's ready to kind of work on dealing with her own stuff. All right. DB, I think you're last, and then I'll make sure I didn't skip anybody, but I think I've made it all. Okay. What do I need to hear right now? I heard to have more confidence in yourself and trust yourself more. You tend to second guess yourself, and then it's like you go in circles, and it's like a cat chasing its tail, and you just relax into who you are a little bit more. You'll feel more confident. Um, they said you really do a really great job. You just need to trust that a little bit more. Let me see. Libra girl, I answered yours. Google user, no back issues. Okay, let me see. You'll have to go back up, scroll up. You probably won't be able to scroll up, but go back and watch it. I did yours, Libra girl. You're welcome. Okay, so my mind is a little dirty at times, and it was just funny when you said Brewberry. You nailed me. No, I didn't. Just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding about that, but just sorry. Okay. Okay. Wait, what? Isha, just email me. I think it'll be easier. I don't I don't know what. Okay, so I think I got everybody. Google user. Let me see what I can get for you real quick. All right, I just need to shift and see if this is mine or yours. I don't remember what your question is, so I'm just giving you whatever they're giving me. And they said that you want to know what's happening in the whole world, like how it's all going to fall out, now it's all going to be like very much a planner. I want everything planned and set out, and I want to know how it's all going to turn out. And it's sort of like learning to relax into the not knowing and into the unknown and just going with the flow is a huge lesson for you right now. Does that make any sense? Jakari, I'm not taking any new questions tonight. Just finishing up. I felt like he was with someone else, Lisa, that he'd already moved on. Thank you, Jakari. Subscribe and hit the bell so that next time I'm on live, you'll get notified. I typically am here every Sunday evening. I may not be next Sunday evening. I may try and move to the daytime and Sunday. I'm not sure. I'm kind of playing it by ear right now. It's okay, Lisa. You don't owe me the story. I was just saying I felt like there was someone else, and I'm sorry. Oh, cool. I'm glad you're using the meditation videos. But you can still email me if you want, Isha, and I'll get back to you. All right. So I'm going to say goodnight. I hope everybody has a lovely week. Please take care of yourselves. I am doing private readings. However, not scheduling anything for the remainder of the week, as I don't know how my week is going to go. I know the psychic doesn't know. But please subscribe and like, hit the bell, share this with your friends. I am working on doing some new things. I'm working on trying to decorate this room so that I can film in a better space and learn how to like put out better videos and record some things for you guys and all of that. So I'm hoping that will all pull itself together. So thank you for supporting me. Thank you for joining me every week. All right, sorry for scratching my nose. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we will see you soon. Soon. All right. Good night, y'all.